For both Julie and Morgan, Brian, the two of you have a long history together. Winning the World Cup in U20 back in 2012, doing that also with doing that also with Crystal Dunn. Then the two of you going on in 2015 and winning a World Cup there, and then now doing it again in 2019. So there were some really cool post-game photos of you guys celebrating with the confetti and stuff, and part of that was with Crystal Dunn as well. And I know that her story's been well documented as far as being left on the 2015 roster to now. Can you sort of talk about celebrating that World Cup in 2015 versus now with her as part of sort of this long history that you've all had together?
Sure, I'll start. I think it's been a really cool journey to be able to share it together. Each one is special in their different ways, for sure. I think the cool thing about being able to celebrate it with Mo and Crystal is we've all gone through adversity at different times and been there together seeing it. So I think when you can come together and really see kind of all the hard work and sacrifices and tears and blood and sweat and all that stuff that comes with it, it just makes it even more sweet to celebrate. And I think the older we get in our careers, especially for me, and I know Morgan probably feels the same way, is you kind of just get more grateful for your career and your opportunities that you get. And to be able to do that 3 times with them, it's definitely brought Morgan and I closer as well. And it's a really special feeling. And after that, I think those are my favorite photos for sure, because I've known Mo maybe since we were 18, 17, somewhere around there. And that's truly like even more so of just winning. It's really doing it with your support group, and those have been my support group since day one. Sorry.
She said it all, but I think it's super important to just, after those big moments like that, to come together and to be able to celebrate and have the same kind of picture 3 different times in a World Cup. And, you know, after the game we were like, let's go get competitive pictures because we can put them side by side each time we've won. And I think in each of those pictures is a different story. And so I think it's pretty cool to be able to see those and kind of look back and see all of our journeys come to fruition, and just to be able to hold the trophy 3 times in a row with the same kind of people is something special, and I think we'll always remember it.
Thank you.
Alyssa, I know it's a team game, but you know, in hockey they say, you know, this goaltender has won this many Stanley Cups. You're a World Cup winning goalie now. You know, you're up there with Brianna Sturry, Hope Solo. What does that mean to you? Because that's going to be on your top of your resume now for a long time. So have you thought about what that means to be the starting goalie on a World Cup champion?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. No, I think this team obviously has a history of, you know, back in, you know, the inception of, you know, this team, and the players that were first on that team kind of set the bar really high for us as players. And, you know, even going to the '99 World Cup when I was 11 and watching that team, and the legacy that they started and the bar that they've set, I think we've all kind of embraced as a team. And I think, obviously, within the team, there's a rich history in the goalkeeping position as well. And between, you know, Bri and Hope, and, you know, I'm just happy to be able to have my name in there and be a part of it.
What was it like during those games, especially, you know, England, France, and the Netherlands? What emotions go through your head? Is it just another soccer game, or do you realize, hey, this is a huge stage, this is what I've trained for my whole life?
I think in the moment, it's just another game. Kind of has to be to maintain the focus, and that I think there's time afterwards to kind of reflect and to take a deep breath, and even if it's just standing on the field for a little bit longer afterwards and taking in the moment and enjoying that part of it. But I think during the actual game leading into it, it's just another game, and the focus is how can we win this one, and then there's time for reflection afterwards.
Right here.
So during your save in the semis, you were just swarmed as if you just scored a goal. As a goalie, what does that feel like? I spoke with Sam and Emily a couple weeks ago. They were just raving about your performance. What does that feel like to have that kind of support around you after stopping a goal as opposed to scoring one?
Yeah, I don't usually get to celebrate the goals, so that was different. But I didn't know how, but yeah. But no, I think we've got a special group, and those are the moments that, you know, we've gone on this journey all together, and whether it's someone scoring a goal, whether it's, you know, a center back or our outside backs making big tackles, defending, blocking shots, you know, obviously the scoring goals, creating goals, and things like that. those are the moments that we enjoy celebrating because we see all of the preparation and the hard work that goes into it. So to see those moments kind of play out, and we've always all had each other's backs and supported one another, and I think that's what you see in moments like that.
Both of them kind of said that they felt like you were kind of disrespected with your selection of the team. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, obviously you proved that you're more than worthy, so.
I didn't really get, caught up in any of that. I knew who I was going into it, and I always just try to stay true to who I am. I can't control what other people say, what other people think about me. I can only control how I show up to the field every day, how I can be a teammate, how I can try to help this team win. And that was my goal going into the tournament, was here in 2019 in France, how can I help this team win? And I'm proud to have been able to do that.
Each World Cup winning team has left such a mark in U.S. women's national team history. They're each, known for something so special. What do you feel like your guys' legacy with this 2019 team will be? I know it's early to talk about a mark that this team has left, but even reflecting on it now, what do you feel like the mark will be of this 2019 team?
I think, even just from being back, the support there was absolutely amazing. Just to see so many fans even travel so far to Europe to be able to support us. The final was unreal. It definitely felt like a home game, and that's just a testament to people supporting women's soccer. And on top of that, I think that's like the curve that we've really been able to push. I think I'm still learning coming back of just how many people come up and be like, thank you so much for shedding a light on women's sports and women's soccer here. And I think we just meet so many young, amazing girls that are continuing wanting to play soccer, and I think the numbers keep going up year in and year out. And just to be able to pay that, already the growth here of selling out this weekend is huge. And it's an honor to be back, to be able to be a part of that and have a place for young girls to be able, even if they're from Chicago, coming to watch this, wow, I can play in my backyard. And I think to have that, and I've been on, this is our 7th year on the national team, Mo and I, of just the growth within 7 years. So I think I'm still learning that, but I do think the curve of, trying to get the respect of the game and continuing to grow it here and in general has been amazing. And I think, this has really kind of solidified that moment of, we're here to make a difference and make an impact both on and off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Julie, in the midst of all of the achievements that the women's game has had, and in the midst of the equal pay movement, how great is it to have Julie Ertz in the headlines instead of like Zach Ertz's wife? You know what I mean?
I, however, I believe the second I got married to become one, I have absolutely no problem. I love my husband in all aspects. I respect his, everything he does in his sport now. So to be compared and come together, we know that our relationship is very different than probably most. And at the end of the day, honestly, when it comes to our relationship, I just want to, be a role model in that aspect too. So to be on together, it does not bother me at all. Love him just the same. For anyone who just wants to stand up and say that she can stand on her own, great. I love your support as well as a player, but I love my husband as well. So it could be a worse comparison to be with. So I have no problem.
But as a larger the women's game kind of proving itself as a national stage, it's nice to be not compared though, right?
Again, honestly, the fact that some people stood up behind me to be it should be it should be Julie Ertz's husband. Regardless, it's the same thing. I'm married to him, love him. He's my #1 fan, so that's the least of my worries.
Well, Julie, you and Zach are both at the top of your professions, both great athletes at the top of their sports, team-wise as well. So what's that been like? Have you guys talked about, the equality movement, how supportive has he been of, hey, let's hopefully women's sports will have just as much press and fandom as men's sports. Have you guys talked about
Oh yeah, for sure. And he supports our team and wanting to grow sports. He knows how much sports can truly unite a country, and there's so much good that comes out of sports. And for both you know, women and men, and for young girls, he knows how just as important it is, as he sees both young kids love his sport as well. So, you know, in our careers, we want to, you know, make an impact both on and off the field, and especially on the field. He's seen firsthand of how much sports can, you know, truly be a special moment for young kids to dream, and he's totally behind it and wants to continue to help grow the game in women's sports for sure. And he loves watching our team play, so he supports us in every way possible.
Sorry. Julie and Alyssa, I talked to Morgan and Tierna earlier this week about this question, but this World Cup win, you guys did it with such a young team, and there obviously were the staple veterans on this team. But what does it say about the future of the U.S. women's national team to have won this World Cup this way and now almost be accepting this torch from these veterans that have done so much for the program and, you know, again, the future that's ahead for you guys?
I think we were actually still the oldest team in the tournament.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our average age
was the oldest in the tournament. But no, I think it was a good mix of veteran players and young players coming in. And obviously you saw players like Rose and Lindsay and Sam, their first World Cups coming in, scoring goals, playing huge. And I think it was just a good mix, and everybody meshed well with, you know, everyone has a role to play, and I don't think the age is necessarily that important with it, but obviously you can get, you know, some of those girls could potentially have 2-3 more World Cups in their future if they want it, and it's good to get that. Or 5 if you're turn on. But I think, you know, it's just to get.
16?
Yeah.
16, 14.
But no, I think it's, you know, it was a good mix.
Yeah, I think from the second I came in, there's been a standard set in our team and the DNA of the team. And when you come in, regardless of your age, there's a standard that, you know, we kind of expect. And on top of that, I think our veteran group had really loved how much creativity and that the youth had brought to the game, and how they saw the game. And I thought it was a really cool way to collaborate together and how to be, you know, good together and push each other. And even so, Tierna's is the youngest on the team, and still I can learn things from her as well in the way that she sees the game. And I think that's been the really fun part about this group this year, is that I really felt like throughout even the tournament, but even way before in the past few years, it's been a huge collaboration of, you know, how to grow the game and different ways to see it. And I really think that helped us, because every day at training was some of the most competitive training I've had, because you're playing against such a unique and different, each person has their own, you know, talents and what they bring to the team, and that only just made it better. I mean, our team always says iron sharpens iron, and that's truly what I felt day in and day out. It didn't matter what the age was of the player.